Hello, boils and ghouls, and happy Jack-O-Ween.
Why are you haunting me? My spirit's not your type. Please get it through your head. I can't love you, you're dead. Why are you haunting me?
Today we have a scare package left over from last episode, which if you haven't seen, there's a link in the description. If you couldn't tell from my pun-like manner, I'm trying to beat the Crypt Keeper's record for most puns in a series. Right now I'm at 3, but we'll see as the numbers go higher and you get cringier. Tales from the Crypt. In many regards, the greatest horror series of all time. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, how dare I not say that Twilight Zone is the greatest horror series of all time? Now, hold your pitchforks and torches and let me explain why. While Twilight Zone is a masterpiece of storytelling, truth be told, it's more or less set in the realm of science fiction than it is straight up horror. It builds more tension, it's more designed to make you think than straight up scare you. Whereas Crypt is a horror show. There is at least one episode in the series for any horror fan to enjoy in some way or another. It combines good storytelling, effects, actors, and overall sense of fun that a lot of modern day horror just doesn't really seem to get anymore. Plus, we have arguably the best horror host of all time, the Crypt Keeper. Speaking of which, let's meet up with old Crypty in all of his animatronic glory, playing with an ibicus.
Guidance is advised.
Unless you're on YouTube, because God forbid we have any dark content on here.
So, guide your parents out of the room so we can have some fun.
Oh, Crypty, never change.
This tale concerns a gambling man with a bad case of double vision who's about to hit the hackpot. I call this twin helping of horror split personality.
Our episode begins properly with Paulie from the Rocky movies arguing with Joe Pantaleone over him accidentally putting 50s chips instead of 5s chips. But just when things couldn't get any more Italian, Joe Pesci overhears them talking, as Paulie gives a genuinely heartfelt moment.
Look, you're not gonna believe this, but my kid, he can't take care of himself. Now they tell me he has this kidney thing. And the insurance won't cover the medical, because I had some trouble in the army.
Go ahead. You make blackjack on the next card, the house pays 5-1. You're rich, Ace. 100 says it is. You got more to lose.
As he makes it big, he gives Pesci a large sum of money, as Pesci's heart struck at the gesture. He goes on to tell him his philosophy is that the best things in life come in twos. Kinda like Harvey Dent, and as we all know, that ended up really well for him. So he makes a deal with Paulie that he gets to keep the cash that he won, so long as he goes home, writes him out a personal check of $10,000 for a business opportunity later, and he will cash it out in 2 weeks, when he has the money. Because if you can't trust a Vegas booze hound, who can you trust?
And how would you like that, sir?
Hundreds will be just fine. I got to get out of this hole.
Okay, so let's see. The episode takes place in 1992. He got $10,000 in cash. So today, he would have $17,447.33 just on this one time. Why doesn't he leave? He then tells the random hooker that he wants to make it with twins. Which, let's be honest, most guys can relate to. Oh yeah, he gets to sleep with all these beautiful women. I can't even pay rent.
Always wanted to make it with twins.
We cut to Pesci's car breaking down in front of,
What the is this piece of
Yeah, that's it. So he does what anyone would do in this situation. Walk in and yell if anyone's home, which is always the smart choice. He then notices a picture with a man named Etchison Doms Blair.
goofy looking he was?
Don't move!
Take what you want, but don't take any of my bebop stuff.
How did you get in here anyways?
Well, let's see. Either he sacrificed a goat to Lord Xanthor, or, I don't know, maybe he used the door? He explains that he had an accident and just wants to use the telephone. Now, kids, a telephone is what a mommy and daddy used to use before smartphones ironically made everybody dumber. But to Pesci's surprise, he finds himself in the middle of a duel performance. That's right, twins.
I'm April. That's June.
What happened to May? Just want to use the telephone, okay?
Pesci uses his master knowledge of their father's architectural work to get out of this tricky situation. What? All people from Vegas know about architectural structures. Why, that'd be as silly as confusing a Dutch colonial for an Italianate. Ha 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 ha. So I'm gonna do you guys a huge favor and sum up the majority of Pesci's dialogue in this scene. Bada bing, Italian, marinara, architecture. So he goes on to flirt with the girls with more architectural BS, and they seem into it. He repeatedly shows up to their house and flirts with the girls. I don't know why, but Joe Pesci in a cardigan is just really funny to me. They then continue their bizarre relationship.
Where is June anyway?
April? Oh, she went out. Hasn't been out of the house in months. June's always been a little more outgoing than me anyways.
Why all the line transitions?
So they both flirt with Pesci separately and tell him how the other twin is not what she seems.
You got a temper, huh?
Almost like a split personality.
I'm afraid you two ain't exactly identical.
What do you mean?
Newsflash. One of you is just a little more beautiful than the other.
Finally panning back to Pesci after he had just finished banging his slot. I'm legitimately pissed that Pesci has slept with 3 women in this episode already, and yet I can't get one girl to go with me to the Red Lobster. Pesci tries contemplating a plan on what to do next in order to get both of their fortunes. But you know that Pesci was so sly and so slick, he thought of a lie and he thought it up quick.
A twin brother?
He claims he has a brother named Jack who stays in Africa for a month, and they switch every month or so for business reasons. Yes, what a silly name Jack is.
What part of Africa?
22nd Street, oh!
I must warn you, though. He's a little more outgoing than I am. He's not as educated or well-spoken. You know, he talks that California jargon.
Whew, this is gonna be so rich, I think I might need some chips on standby.
Whoa, ladies. Vic told me you were a couple of radical babes. But I must confess to being totally stoked and overwhelmed. You dig?
Gary Oldman couldn't have done better.
I'm too sexy for Milan. Too sexy.
It's funny because it existed. I think it's about time I introduce you to my cousin Quentin. Can you believe Pesci in this episode is actually trying to play off that he's 2 separate people when clearly he's just one guy? Forget about it. So stupid. So Pesci is easily able to manipulate the twins into marrying them to get their fortune. But as he's sleeping by the pool, he gets a suntan outline from the robe on his back. As he tells April he's leaving and that Jack will be back tomorrow for a month. Both April and June realize because of the sunburn on the back matching that he might be the same person. But to confirm their suspicions, they go into his room while he's taking a shower, only to find the clip-on ponytail in his bed while showering. They then set their plan into motion. Pesci, to his shock, finds newspaper clippings about their dead father inside one of the dresser drawers.
Twins questioned the death of architect. Foul play suspected in death of architect.
They tie up Pesci to the bed and exact their revenge. And Pesci goes, well, full Pesci.
Hey, what the is this? What's going on? Hey, what are you doing? Huh? What the you doing? Let me go! Let me go! What are you doing? What the are you doing?
Hello, darling.
They admit the reason why they killed their father is, well, they're crazy, and they share everything.
It's too hard, one of him and two of us. We were too selfish. Like now.
So they cut to the chase and sever ties with Pesci. Now, because YouTube is a bunch of PC Nazis, I can't unfortunately show you the footage. Instead, I'm going to describe to you what's on screen while a bunch of funny cats play in the background. So they chainsaw him dick first upwards while jazz music is playing in the background, as June and April share their man, even if it is only with half of their profits. And the episode ends with each of them having half of his body in their beds, even though his organs stay in place, which is clearly what would really happen if you chainsaw someone in half. As we cut back to the Crypt Keeper with the moral of the episode.
It just proves the old saying, behind every bad man, there's two women. With a chainsaw! So, kiddies, care for a little meme of chance? Deads I win, tails you ooze!
Say, Quentin, why did you show up today anyway?
Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm just here to get my cut. Thanks for the pizza, guys. Now, when the moment you ride like
Well, even though this season hasn't been the best of years, I do hope that you guys at least had some fun. Remember to keep the scares all year round. As for me, well, I'm gonna have to hang up my Halloween hat and get back to what I do best. Catch you guys next time.